Imagine working harder than ever before, yet feeling poorer with every passing year. That sounds impossible today, yet millions of Americans quietly live this reality. The strange part is income isn't collapsing the way headlines constantly suggest. Jobs still exist everywhere, paychecks still arrive, and stores remain completely full. Yet something deeper is shifting beneath America's economic foundation right now, today. A massive wealth transfer is happening, and most people barely even notice, not because it's carefully hidden, but because it feels completely normal today. Every monthly payment seems harmless when viewed entirely by itself alone today. One subscription here, another payment there, another financing plan somewhere else entirely. Then suddenly, decades pass and ownership feels strangely out of reach now. To understand this shift clearly, rewind America back several generations first today. For much of the 20th century, wealth followed familiar paths for families. Families bought homes, kept them, and watched values gradually rise over time. Cars were purchased outright, repaired repeatedly, then passed down afterward for generations. Furniture lasted decades, appliances survived years, and possessions accumulated steadily over time. Wealth wasn't always visible, but ownership quietly built financial stability for families. Assets stayed inside households instead of constantly leaving through recurring payments everywhere. Then, technology, finance, and convenience started rewriting economic expectations across America completely. The changes seemed beneficial, efficient, flexible, modern, and incredibly consumer-friendly overall. In many ways, these changes genuinely improved everyday life for millions nationwide. But every improvement carried subtle economic consequences few people fully examined carefully. Consider entertainment, once purchased through records, DVDs, books, and personal collections. Today, access replaced ownership through endless recurring monthly subscriptions across nearly everything. Music became cheaper, yet personal libraries gradually disappeared almost entirely from homes. Movies became unlimited, but access remained dependent on ongoing monthly payments forever. Stop paying, and years of accumulated entertainment instantly vanish from your account. The same pattern quietly spread far beyond entertainment, media, and streaming services. Software transformed from products into services, charging customers indefinitely for continued access. Even basic productivity tools increasingly require permanent monthly commitments from users today. Businesses loved this model because predictable revenue creates extraordinary stability over time. Investors loved it because recurring income often commands significantly higher market valuations. Consumers accepted it because monthly costs initially appeared remarkably affordable and manageable. One payment seemed insignificant compared with large upfront purchase prices at first, but economics changes dramatically when multiplied across many years and decades later. Small recurring charges rarely feel expensive because they arrive gradually every month. Human psychology notices sudden pain far more than constant background expenses daily. Companies understand this tendency exceptionally well and strategically design around it. The result creates a powerful shift from ownership towards perpetual renting everywhere. Housing reveals an even larger version of this transformation happening today nationwide. Home ownership once represented America's primary engine for middle-class wealth creation and growth. Mortgage payments eventually ended, leaving families with valuable, appreciating assets completely owned. Renters, meanwhile, continued making payments without building meaningful ownership stakes themselves afterward. Recently, that distinction became much harder for many Americans to achieve. Home prices rose faster than incomes across numerous metropolitan regions nationwide recently. Down payments expanded while affordability steadily moved further away from households financially. Younger generations increasingly rent longer, often through their prime earning years today. Wealth accumulation slows considerably when ownership opportunities arrive much later in life. Meanwhile, institutional investors discovered housing's attractive financial characteristics and scalable opportunities. Large firms began acquiring thousands of homes across rapidly growing markets nationwide. Individually, these purchases seemed small. Collectively, they changed competition significantly over time. More buyers chasing properties naturally places additional pressure on prices everywhere today. Rent becomes revenue, and revenue becomes highly valuable investment fuel for growth. Another shift emerged through financial markets and retirement planning structures nationwide recently. Previous generations often relied heavily on pensions earned from long careers. Many workers now navigate investment accounts carrying greater personal responsibility themselves today. Freedom increased, yet risk increasingly migrated toward individual households instead over time. Market gains create opportunity, but losses directly affect retirement outcomes personally. Responsibility moved downward while complexity moved sharply upward at the same time. Then came consumer financing attached to nearly anything imaginable in modern life. Phones, furniture, vacations, electronics, and groceries suddenly became monthly payment obligations. The question shifted from price toward manageable monthly affordability instead for consumers. That's a subtle difference with surprisingly powerful economic consequences underneath everything today. Monthly thinking often masks total costs hiding behind extended timelines and commitments. A $1,000 purchase feels different than endless installments spread widely over years. Companies recognize this and increasingly market payments rather than products themselves today. Consumers gain flexibility, yet frequently sacrifice long-term financial efficiency afterward unknowingly. Ironically, convenience often costs more precisely because it feels completely effortless today. The modern economy rewards frictionless spending with remarkable consistency across industries everywhere. Every removed obstacle increases transaction volume and corporate profitability significantly over time. Wealth increasingly flows toward whoever owns systems generating recurring payments consistently today. That's where the deeper wealth shift becomes impossible for people to ignore. Ownership of assets matters, but ownership of cash flow systems matters more today. Investors seek businesses collecting predictable payments from millions simultaneously around the world. Subscription platforms, rental models, financial services, and digital ecosystems increasingly dominate. These structures transform customer habits into durable streams of recurring revenue. Revenue streams then attract capital, expansion, and even greater market power. The cycle reinforces itself with extraordinary efficiency and momentum over time. Meanwhile, individuals navigate increasing costs spread across countless small obligations monthly. None seem overwhelming separately, yet together they reshape household finances significantly today. This doesn't mean America is collapsing or prosperity disappeared entirely from society. Many people still build wealth through businesses, investing, and ownership opportunities. The difference lies in how wealth increasingly gets created in America. Ownership concentrated around platforms, networks, assets, and scalable financial systems today. Labor remains important, but ownership often captures disproportionate rewards afterward over time. That's the uncomfortable math hiding beneath countless everyday transactions happening today, everywhere. Popular narratives celebrate flexibility while often overlooking accumulated trade-offs completely today. Renting feels flexible, subscriptions feel convenient, financing feels accessible immediately today. Yet all three frequently redirect money away from ownership pathways over time. Over years, those pathways determine who accumulates lasting wealth and security. This explains why economic frustration persists despite impressive technological progress today. People sense movement, but struggle identifying exactly what's changing underneath everything today. The rules evolved gradually, making the transformation harder to recognize clearly. No dramatic announcement ever marked the beginning of this wealth shift. It emerged through incentives, innovations, consumer preferences, and financial engineering combined. Each decision made sense individually when viewed carefully in isolation first. Together, they created a fundamentally different economic landscape than before entirely. The biggest question isn't whether this shift continues from here forward. The bigger question concerns who adopts quickly enough to benefit most. Will future wealth belong primarily to owners of systems across society? Or will ownership itself become the next luxury Americans quietly rent someday?